Governor Quinn released his budget proposal recently. I was wondering your thoughts on it.
Well, I didn't think it was very good. I have a plan actually of 37 different ways that we can not only save taxpayer money, but we can also raise revenue without income tax or sales tax. Let me just give you a couple examples. The way to save money, the very first easiest step is number one, you ground the air fleet that the state government has. Secondly, you sell off all of the airplanes and helicopters, except for one. Keep one for the governor for an emergency. And then an example of how we can raise money without raising income tax or sales tax would be to copy what Indiana has done and authorize In God We Trust license plates. If you travel to Indiana, about a third of the license plates have In God We Trust. People pay a little extra for that. We could use that money to fund the MAP program for low-income students trying to get a college education. So that's 2 of the 37 that I have that we can help get us out of this financial mess that we're in.
Yes. What are your thoughts on the commentators who make the comparison that Illinois' financial crisis is a lot like that in Greece?
Is it a lot like what?
In Greece.
Well, I don't think it's quite that bad because, like I said, there's a number of ways that we can save money and that we can raise revenue without raising taxes. So I don't think it's quite the same. There's a lot of things we can do to solve this problem. We just need some people in there in the legislature that will lead the way. The wrong way to do things is to do what the incumbent state senator Jacobs has done, and that is pass legislation that gives Commonwealth Edison automatic ability to raise utility rates. That's going to hurt business, it's going to hurt jobs, it's going to hurt our churches and schools, as well as our residential people. So I was one of the founders of CUB, the Citizens Utility Board. We fought for fair utility rates, and I'm going to do that if I'm in the state senate.
All right. Recently, Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel has tried to have all the guns in Illinois registered. There's a proposal for an ammunition tax. About a year ago, the Associated Press attempted to have the information released of every FOID card holder in Illinois. Do you think that the Second Amendment is under attack in the state?
Well, I think that the city of Chicago and their leaders do not understand that this is a big state. It's more than just the city of Chicago. You know, the city of Chicago is about a population of Iowa, but there's 5 collar counties around it, suburban counties, that have the population of Iowa. And then there's this part of the state, which is much like Iowa. And if you get below Springfield, it's much like Kentucky or Tennessee. It's more southern. And so they're only a portion of the state. They can't dictate to the rest of us, particularly on areas of the Second Amendment. And I think those things that they see guns as, we see guns as protection, we see guns as hunting, we see guns as people like to go out and shoot targets. You know, even like me and my wife, we go out once in a while and shoot bottles and cans. It's recreation. It's not like they see guns, which is just a matter of gangs and violence like that. So their outlook is really, what I say, is only 1/4 of the whole state of Illinois. And it's time that they woke up and realized that in the area of guns and the Second Amendment.
All right, you had mentioned the vastness and the variety in the state of Illinois. What do you think about Illinois' potential if this nation moved towards energy independence?
Well, I think that's the way to do it. I think Illinois could be one of the leaders. Our neighbor Iowa is now the #1 state as far as wind energy. We can do things in solar energy. For example, there's a Chinese firm that is creating a solar farm south of Rockford. You know, Rockford is not Florida, it's not Arizona, but that shows the potential of that. Geothermal is another source of alternative energy. We can help make the United States energy independent, and I'm a strong supporter of doing that. Biofuels, if we followed what Minnesota does, they require 2% of their diesel fuel to be biodiesel, come from soybeans. We ought to do the same thing, and guess what? It produces not just farm income, but it produces jobs. They now have 3 biodiesel refineries new in the state of Minnesota just after that law was passed.
All right. Final question here, as I think about it. Excuse me. Do you favor the retention or the repeal of Governor Quinn's tax increase on individuals and corporations?
I'd like to see it repealed. I think we can do that, especially, as I said, if we follow the 37 steps that I think we can do to get ourselves out of this financial mess that we're in. And I'm sure other citizens out there, I encourage them to send their ideas to me. One gentleman here pointed up a good thing that we can do that will save money. So we can gather these ideas and do that and get out of this financial mess. We can do it from the grassroots on up.
All right. Thank you very much.